For more on Donald Trump and his run for the White House, head to DonaldJTrump.com. That's DonaldJTrump.com. This past week, Arizona Senator John McCain called Trump supporters crazies. After Trump hit back, he was criticized by the media, liberals, and the weak GOP establishment. Sarah Palin let everyone know that Trump is a good man. Palin wrote on Facebook, "I have the good fortune of knowing both John McCain and Donald Trump well. Both men have more in common than today's media hype would have you believe. Both blaze trails in their careers and love our great nation." She added, "Donald Trump is a hero in another arena. Trump is the candidate giving voice to untold millions of fed-up Americans witnessing a purposeful destruction of our economy and the equal opportunity for success that made America exceptional. We're watching career politicians throw away our kids' future through bankrupting public budgets and ripping open our porous borders, which, obvious to all us non-politicians, puts us at great risk. Everywhere I go, hardworking, patriotic Americans, not crazies or wacko birds, ask me to pass on to Mr. Trump encouragement to keep educating the masses about true ramifications of illegal immigration and, in general, the real state of our union." Also this past week, while Obama continued to drag his feet, Sarah Palin took action. Palin demanded President Obama lower the flag to honor our fallen service members in Chattanooga. Palin posted online, "If you follow Obama administration actions this summer, you see it's their summer of the flag. They seek to ban some flags, light up our White House in controversial colors of others, inexplicably wave the white flag, retreating from Iran's terrorist regime, and actually raising the flag of a communist nation in the halls of our U.S. State Department. Why, then, is it impossible for this commander-in-chief to honor our fallen military heroes following last week's terrorist murder spree in Chattanooga? He did so after evil attacks on Americans in Aurora, Colorado, and Newtown, Connecticut. So why not now, Mr. President? Why not our troops? Demand he do so," Palin said. "Whether you agree with me or not on other issues, please join this effort. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, and this is something to stand for. President Obama, we shouldn't even have to tell you, but lower the flags. It is the sign of respect. Include our White House flag for honoring our fallen who were killed on their Chattanooga base, where they're working and sacrificing for all of us, including you." Well, people did speak up, and Obama may have heard them. He finally did order flags to fly at half-staff in honor of those we lost in Tennessee. And this past week, Sarah Palin blasted evil Planned Parenthood again. She posted a video of a Planned Parenthood official joking that she'd buy a Lamborghini with money from baby body parts. Palin also called for action, saying Planned Parenthood equals quality health care. Nothing could be further from the truth. Shut it down. Presidential candidates join me in calling for Planned Parenthood to be shut down. Palin continued, "This is a sham business, falsely advertising as a provider of quality health care for our patients. How can anyone sit back and watch our tax dollars fund this? There are countless distributors of birth control and health care advice out there. PP's fake premise of doing so and caring for any aspect of health is offensive and beyond unethical." Kirsten Powers, thank you for speaking up, because this atrocity is not partisan or gender issue. It's obviously a moral one. The acceptance of this speaks to the character of our nation. Important statements from Governor Palin this past week. To see any of the governor's posts in their entirety, visit Sarah Palin's Facebook page, follow her on Twitter at Sarah Palin USA, and visit sarahpalinchannel.com.
Now, the Palin Update with Kevin Scholla presents Liberty and Legacy. Here's Tamara Colbert.
Liberty is alive and well across America through our state legislators. Last week, I had the opportunity to participate with the American Legislative Exchange Council annual meeting in San Diego through the Convention of States Project. Thousands of legislators from around the country get together to learn about free markets, limited government, and federalism. Of course, it was inspiring to listen to guest speakers such as Governor Scott Walker and Governor Mike Huckabee, and also famed pollster Frank Luntz, who was amazing, incredible, and brilliant. What a gift this man has. The common thread was based around the principles of federalism. But how many of us really know what that means? Well, federalism is the constitutional division of powers between the federal and state governments. Since the Tea Party was founded, it's become abundantly clear that Americans want solutions. And by nature, we are problem solvers. I mean, think about it. Somebody in the early 1600s said, hey, I want more religious liberty. I want to worship my God when I want. So let's get in some boats. We'll cross the Atlantic not knowing what's on the other side, and we'll see what happens. How amazing, adventurous, and fearless that was. Wow, true grit on display by America's founders. What did they do? They set up a country founded on religious liberty first and put in place a bedrock of Judeo-Christian values because they believed it would bless individuals and give them more freedom. Today's grassroots are fully engaged, and they promote this increased citizen engagement through their meetings and town halls that happen across the country on a regular basis. We are pushing our leaders to focus on those most pressing issues facing us today. We want to be able to solve our country's challenges, but instead of doing it at the federal level, Convention of States Project believes that Article 5 is going to enable us to solve these challenges at the state level, where our legislators are much closer to the people. I love it because the Convention of States Project is unique, really grassroots 2.0, because Article 5 is a tool that's going to help us do a couple of things. Number one, educate state legislators about this beautiful emergency button the founders included in the Constitution for just this day, this moment that they knew would come when the federal government would become corrupt, bloated, and tyrannical. But secondarily, Article 5 is essentially a new educational tool to share with citizens and encourage them to step up in concert with their state legislators and leaders to work together to save the nation through the states. After all, we're the United States of America, not the United Federal Government of America, right? So this week, when the Convention of States launched a legislator website and portal to connect legislators from all over the country to work on solutions and communicate together about ideas for solving America's problems from the state level. How exciting was that? We also unveiled rules for governing such a convention that, by the way, was not 2,600 pages, but 7, all based on historical precedent from our founding era, written by Rob Natelson, the foremost authority on Article 5 in the Constitution today, and Michael Farris, co-founder of the Convention of States Project. And it wasn't definitive rules. It was rules meant to initiate and begin to engage these legislators on a discussion of what a convention might look like and what the rules would look like to govern such a convention. What I really realized after talking to dozens and dozens of state legislators from around the country is they want to do the right thing for their states and their people and the country. They care about making their states more prosperous and free. But I learned something really important, not just what I was reminded by last week at ALEC, but what I learned by spending every single week at my state capitol in Austin during the legislative session. And that is that we cannot simply send our legislators to their capitals and expect them to do the right thing when we are not involved. I'm going to challenge you guys. You must commit one day to your senator or your state rep or both if you can take that time off of work. During your next legislative session, I don't care what you do. Answer phones, file paperwork, read legislation and mark it up where the high points are. Ask your legislator what you can do to help them. It's not rocket science, folks. It's service. It's self-governance. How exciting. What a great time to be alive. It's our choice to have the government we want at the community, the state, and the federal level. And there's never been a better time than engaging now. We must work together to make America great again. And I'm excited. And I'm optimistic. And I believe you are too. So my Twitter challenge for you guys this week is to tell me the name of your state legislator and what you're going to do about working with them. Tell me what you believe you can do with your states. Don't forget, at Tamara Colbert. I'm going to be looking for that. And if you have ideas or suggestions, put them out there. At Tamara Colbert, hashtag Mama Grizzly Radio. I can't wait to see what you guys have to say. For Mama Grizzly Radio, I'm Tamara Colbert.
Tamara Colbert in Texas. Tune in for more Liberty and Legacy next week. And to learn about Convention of States, head to conventionofstates.com. Now our weekly commentary, Steel Resolve. Here's Sarah Steelman.
Thanks, Kevin. We know that Hillary doesn't pay much attention to the facts. She has her own version of destroying emails, the Benghazi attack, and how destitute she and Bill were after 8 years in the White House. Now she's ignoring economic data with her new proposal to raise the capital gains tax if she becomes the next president. Raising the capital gains tax would be horribly destructive to our economy, particularly at this time. We know labor participation rates are at their lowest levels. We know that the U.S. corporate tax rate is the highest in the world, and we know that there is about $1 trillion in corporate cash sitting on the sidelines. The average growth in GDP over the last 10 years has been around 2%, which is lower than the 80s when it averaged around 3%. An economy grows when it becomes more productive by creating new businesses and expanding old ones. That only happens when investment in capital is encouraged, not discouraged. If we want to encourage more dollars to flow into investments, one would lower the capital gains tax rate, not increase it. In fact, historically, as the capital gains rate has increased, revenue generated from this tax as a share of all federal revenue and as a fraction of GDP declines at a certain point. In other words, the Laffer effect or Hauser's law applies to the capital gains tax rates as well as other income tax rates. Hillary's plan to expand the middle class by discouraging more investments in the economy is, to paraphrase her husband, stupid. This is Sarah Steelman for Mama Grizzly Radio.
Tune in again next week for another segment of Steel Resolve right here on the Palin Update. The Palin Update, including Liberty and Legacy and Steel Resolve, is on demand and available for download. So just head to mamagrizzlyradio.com, pick the show you want to hear, and you can listen anywhere, anytime. Well, that'll just about do it for this edition of the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. Visit mamagrizzlyradio.com for continuing coverage of Governor Palin. Also, like Mama Grizzly Radio on Facebook and follow along on Twitter at Mama Grizz Radio, at Kevin Scholla, at Tamara Colbert, at Sarah_Steelman, and at FreeDSTS. And I'm doing some writing for Breitbart News. Go to Breitbart.com and search Kevin Scholla. I want to thank Sarah Steelman, Tamara Colbert, and everyone here at Mama Grizzly Radio. Thanks to Donald Trump, and thank you for listening today. A special thanks to our sponsor, 3D Security and Training Academy. Visit 3DSTA.com. The Palin Update is produced by Lena Anderson, the Andy L. Kramer, and Lori-Ann Lewis. Please be sure to join us again next time for another edition of the Palin Update right here on Mama Grizzly Radio. I'm Kevin Scholla. Have a pleasant day.